Hello.
Hello. Okay. Good evening, everyone.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
I was saying to Sensei Brad, Sarah, I don't think I've actually met you yet in the club. So
Right.
good to meet you. Yeah.
Yeah, you as well.
So I'll just have a look at who's here tonight to see what we'll be doing tonight. Good. We got some of the kids joining us. Good. Hi, Senpai. Good. I didn't see you two earlier, so I'm seeing you now. That's good. Okay. Okay, let's bow in. Onegaishimasu.
Onegaishimasu.
Okay, let's take a four stance and just start with some vertical arm swings, just pressing into the ground, 1 foot at a time, and letting those shoulders and arms just release and let go, and maintaining verticality. So we want to train ourselves to not lean, pushing off the back heel, pushing off the front foot, releasing the abdomen, and let those relaxed arm swings just take the tensions out of the body. So warming up the legs and the knees while we release tension out of the body and arms. And other stance. Using the ground, keeping your structure vertical, so that ground pressure, the ground force can move straight up through your structure. Releasing the abdomen always helps. You want to straighten the lower back, drop the tailbone a little bit. Good, and then some horizontal arm swings, feet flat. So just keeping the weight in the center to start with. These are bent a little bit, shoulders down. Again, completely take everything out of the shoulders. Release the abdomen, breathe into the abdomen. and a little wider, the toes out a little bit. So light horse stance. We add a weight shift to that. Then we can add a bit more of a turn by coming up on the ball of that back foot. Make sure the knee is bent, the leg that you shift the weight into and stand onto. Nice bent knee. And then the other foot can turn on the ball of the foot. Then you can face right to the side wall. Good. Heels close, hip turns. And as big as you can make it. And then stopping, slowly start the other way. Each circle gets a little bigger. And then sliding down to the knees. Other way. Rotating away from each other. Towards each other. Out to the front corners. Forward and back. Come all the way back. Good. Let's work the legs a little bit on the ball of the foot. And rotate the knee in a really big circle. That way you warm up all the joints in the leg at once. The ankle joint, knee joint, hip joint. All get addressed by this move. Really big circles with the knee. Other way. Make sure the knee you're standing on is bent a bit. And the other side. Circle goes, the knee goes in as big a circle as you can make. Another way. Okay, raising the knee, swinging the arms. Okay, rolling the shoulders to get the spine moving. If you really get those shoulder circles getting nice and big, you'll address the neck as well. You'll warm up the vertebrae in the neck. And other way. Okay, breathing in through the nose. Breathing out through the mouth. Let that reverberate through your entire body. Right down to the heels of your feet. Letting gravity take the weight of those arms and hands each time here. Okay, so we'll continue warming up by going into the 9th Q program. So we'll approach it fairly slow to start with. Get through the 9th Q program, then a little bit into the next program. Okay, left leg forward. Hidari. Hami no kamai. So irimi sugieshi. Front foot comes offline. Turn 45 degrees. The weight stays in the front leg. Right stance. So it's offline, little turn. You're straight, but the weight is slightly forward. Good tension the whole time. Okay. So each. Knee. Up. Oh. Oh. Teach. Touch. A good time to stop correct here at the end. Joe. Okay. Yigi on me, right leg forward. Yeet. Meet. Stomp. Shi. Whoa. Roke. Staying in the front leg, right leg. Yeet. Touch. Ooh. Ooh. Okay, if we stay in Migi Hanmi, we're set up to do Irumi Arumiyashi. So we just finished Sugiyashi, now Arumiyashi. So back foot comes up offline, 45-degree turn, weight stays in the forward leg. Yeet. Yeet. Up. Yeet. Oh. Oh. Yeet. Touch. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Yari. Back foot comes up, offline. Small turn, weight stays in the forward leg. In this case, the right leg. Yeet. Yeet. Shot. She. Rope. Rope. Teach. Touch. Move. Do. Okay. Do a little bit of Funako Kendo just to make sure we're doing okay with that. Basic technique. So forward, back, make sure the feet stay flat. You're not rising up off the heel or the toes. Weight is nice and low. Knuckles under as you come forward, knuckles on top, you come back to the hips. Okay, so let's do it with the count. On one count, it'll be forward and back. So we're doing a turn, tenkai. So each, ni, san, shi, ho, ro, sich, touch, ku, ru. Okay, let's do some minuchi, just forward and back to start with. And taking time, taking care to make as big an arc as you can on the way up and as big an arc as you can on the way down without leaning at all, but full extension without leaning or locking the elbows. Okay, with the turns, each, ni, san, shi, ho, ro, sich, touch. 2, 2. Okay, now since we're doing this, let's practice Tenkai, which is what we've been doing through the last couple moves. Funakoki Endo, Manichi, Ikiendo. Footwork was Tenkai. So that's that pivot. Now we're simply doing it, keeping basic Hami no Kamae, basic ready stance. So turning on one heel. So go ahead on your own. One heel, then the other heel. Make sure you're not having your weight on your back heels by turning the feet at the same time. So one, then the other. Almost like dominoes, one hits the other to make it move. And you go into a forward stance each time. Okay, that's Tenkai. And if we do simply switching of Hami no Kamae, back foot comes up, front foot goes back. Without bobbing up and down. So you have to keep your weight low the whole time. Mechanically, that simply means keeping your knees bent. But you want your weight dropping continuously. And the switching of the feet switches your arms. So you want that back arm fully extended too. It's only back because your hip is back. So it's not caved in. It's extended as well. And your fingertips are pointing towards your center line. Fingertips are angled up and towards the center line. Okay, and then Tenkan. So we just before this one we did Tenkai, pivot. Tenkan is the back foot moving back. So if we have, let's say, left leg forward, as you may know, it's good to probably turn on the ball of the front foot before you swing that back leg around. That's a big way to turn around, long way. You want to make sure that you don't twist a knee or an ankle. The key is basically to keep that leg one unit by using your intention and keeping that as one piece. Not turning it any part. The whole thing is one pivot. Okay, so we'll do one turn on the count. Each. Ni. San. Shi. O. Ro. Okay, we'll switch Hanmi. Each. Yi, Ji, O. Okay, now do a few on your own where you work on keeping the weight forward so that you don't rock back. So the weight stays on that pivot. Weight stays here forward. Just try a few on your own. Getting your extension. Okay. Let's do Tenkan Undo. We just did Tenkan proper. Specifically, Tenkan is simply turning back. Tenkan Undo is stepping and turning. Also known as Irimi Tenkan. Also known as Irimi Amiyashi, but a big turn. So this is no different than Irimi Amiyashi with the 90-degree turn instead of the 45 that we just did. So we step offline and up, and then a 90-degree turn. And we're going to do simple Minucci movement with the arms. So again, reminder that the legs drive the arms. So pushing off of that back leg drives my Minucci up. And when you drive it up from the leg, don't have it go up, which foreshortens your arc. You want a nice, big, generous arc, just like you're raising a sword, cutting a sword. I don't want to foreshorten that. Nice and big. As big as you can make it without leaning and without locking your elbows. It's the upward arc. As that foot slides into its finishing position, that draws the arms down. So a little minor or a very fine point of timing, I don't want to be having my arms drop down as I bring that leg to the back. That's ungrounded. It's as it settles back. And though it settles back, my weight doesn't rock back. So if I illustrate that, stepping up drives the upward arc. As that foot settles back, my weight settles back, but I stay in a front stance. So it doesn't settle back very much. As opposed to arms coming down as I step back. Arms coming down as I'm stepping back. That's ungrounded, right? So driving forward drives the arms forward and up. And as that foot comes back, settling back, drives it down. So just to take that a little finer, it applies to the first step as well. So as I'm stepping, if I'm stepping and my foot's in the air, that's not when I'm lifting my arms. That's then an empty move. It's an empty move, it's ungrounded. It's like if you try to punch on one leg, you try to punch as you step, or even more simply, if you try to throw a ball as you're stepping, the mechanics aren't there. The connection isn't there, leverage isn't there. So when you throw a ball, you either
Awesome posture to freeze in though, Sensei.
what, did it freeze?
Yeah, you froze with your foot in the air. It was a great action shot, but you were.
It really illustrated it.
Yeah.
So I should either throw that ball as I peel that foot off or after it's landed, but not as I'm stepping. I'm doing my punch. I don't step and punch. I turn my hips to peel that foot off. That's the punch. After I land. So a little finer detail of this is I don't step and lift my arms. It's as I peel that foot off, as I push off the heel and it peels up, that's what drives the Minucci. So the actual time of the Minucci is right here, before my foot has stepped or before it's landed. So that drives the Minucci up fairly early, right? So I want to take that space. For those of you that have more experience, that's taking the space, owning the space early, not as you step. You take the space and then enter in behind it. You take the space, enter in behind it. It's the same as, although the timing looks like it's the opposite way, it's the same as with sword or staff. With sword, I want to enter in behind my cut. I want to enter in behind my sword. I don't want to enter in as I pick up the sword, you've got me. Okay, I don't want to come in here and then you can get me here. I'm open. So I enter in behind the sword. I enter in behind the step. I step in behind the cut. So I cut, I'm coming in behind it. Same idea here is I don't want to stepping, if I face the camera, I might see that better. I don't want to lift the arms as I step. So peeling that off drives it up. My foot isn't off the ground yet. Just like when I do a sword, I want to enter in behind the cut. When I'm delivering a strike, or in this case, Minucci, I want to own that space first. I cover or own that space. I step in behind it, not stepping in. So Manucci is driven up, just like the hip turn is making my step. So I push off that back heel, drives the hips, turns the hips, drives the arms out. The step is the last thing to happen, happens behind it. So if you try that a few times, just focus on that part. And try it with raising the arms too early. And feel how ungrounded that is, how unstable, how open that is. So not stepping and lifting. Pushing off the back heel, peels the foot off the ground, turns the hip, and makes the step. All that drives the arms up. So by the time I actually step, my arms have been up. That's important timing and connection, important mechanics. Bang, and I'm stepping in behind it. Bang, and I'm stepping in behind it. Just like sword cut, I don't come in, you got me. I cut, I step in behind it. I want that space covered, then I step in. Okay, so let's do that together. Push off that foot, drives the Manucci, then you step in behind it. The same mechanics, the foot settles back, that's what's bringing the arms down, not as I step back. Let me know if you have any questions about that at all. So going back, I drive off that back foot, that drives Manucci up early. And as the foot settles back, it draws the arms down and back. Okay, let's do a few with the count. So each count will be there and back. So we'll go quite slow. So you can work that timing, those mechanics. Each. Yeet. See how quick the arms come up right away. And that back foot, that back heel. San, arms are pushed up right away from the back heel. Yeet. Oh. Rope. Each. Nice and low, nice knee bend. Keep those legs nice and bent. Okay, let me know if you have any questions. Have the right leg forward, Migi Hanmi. And now we'll do a full 180-degree Tenkan Undo with that Manucci. Same mechanics. So as soon as I press into the ground with that back foot, that's driving the Manucci way out. So by the time I step, the Manucci is already there. And it's only when the foot settles down, settles back, it draws. It's like there's a string attached from the back heel to the hands. It's only when that back heel settles down that it brings the hands down and back. Like there's a string attached to the heel. Not the leg itself, but the heel settling back and down. So on your own with that 180-degree turn. Go and try a few with that timing and those mechanics. Try not to hop in the middle. Stay grounded. Keep your weight sinking. Your weight's not only low, but the weight's continuing to drop, continually dropping. So watch out for any little hop there in the middle. Nice extension, so arms are as long as you can make them without locking your elbows. Okay, that's good. Okay, moving into the next program. So that was basically the white belt program, 9th tier program. is putting those things together. So, Ayumi Ashi Tenkai. Ayumi Ashi Tenkai. And we just want to keep that good extension out. And the arms only move and change because of the hip turn and the footwork. Okay. So, right leg forward. Ayumi Ashi, the weight is in the front leg, left leg. Tenkai, weight is now on the right leg. So we're consciously working on keeping a forward stance. So once more, if we just do that for practice, Ayumi Ashi, Tenkai, the weight is always moving into the front leg because we're choosing a forward attitude and therefore a forward stance. Okay, so that will be on 2 counts. If we do that together, 2 counts. So each, knee, and back. Each, knee. Each, knee. Check to see if your weight's in your right leg, your right knee's bent. Okay, let's do the other side. So, Hidari, left side forward. Just a practice run, so back foot comes offline. So that's Ayumi Ashi, Tenkai, weight goes into the forward leg, left leg. Okay, let's do that on 2 counts. Each, knee. Each, knee. Each, knee. Forward stance in the left leg. Okay, so I think I'd like to jump to the last part of 9th Q program because we haven't gotten to that yet on these Zoom classes. Let's jump there. So Sayu Undo. And we have a couple different levels of that. So to start with, we're in a light horse stance. We shift the weight and turn the hips. Now the first level, this might be new for a few of you. Even if you've been exposed to Sayuendo before, we're going to shift the weight twice. 1, 2, 1, 2. So let's try that a few times where you shift the weight, 2 beats. Shift the weight, hip turn, shift the weight, hip turn, or shift the weight, sink into that hip, sink into that hip. The weight is low, knees are very bent. Okay. Now, arm position is thus. Elbows bent, pointing towards the ground. This one's reaching right across. Palms up. Way out in front. Way out in front. Way out to the side. Now, the only reason why that's going to happen is because of our hip turn. So let's all face the same direction then. Okay? So remember, it's shift the weight, sink, shift the weight, 1, 2. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, now let's just pause and analyze that. We want to make sure that we're not doing this. That's me just doing the movement from my shoulder or my upper body. So we might be shifting the weight. We tend to use upper body. We tend to use the arms. The arms are not moving. If this comes across, sink, 1, 2. But my arms are not moving at all. I'm simply doing this. Turning at the hip, sinking into the hip. Not my arm moving. That's a very independent and weak move. It's just the arm. Arm is actually not moving at all. I just sink and turn into my hips. Okay, let's work that out. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One thing to watch out for is as you shift the weight, maybe that other heel's getting light, you're peeling off, stay grounded. Both knees are bent. Try a few of those on your own. Okay. And then we're going to add some footwork to that. So it's going to be slide, step, sink, sink, slide, step, sink, sink. Again, 2 beats. Again, we'll watch out that we're not bobbing up and down. At this point, at this apex, your balance is compromised. So it's keeping your legs bent. So let's try a few without the arms, just the body movement and hip movement. So slide in, slide out, turn, turn, slide in, slide out, turn, turn. Keeping your head at an even level so you're not bobbing up and down. Okay, now that's going to drive the arms. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so that's the first level of Sayuendo, stationary and with movement. And then we also have the second level, which is 1 beat. We just did 2 beats, 1, 2. That's to kind of relax and learn to agree with gravity and use gravity and to settle and relax. Now we do it on 1 beat and then hopefully have all that relaxation and timing in that 1 chance, that 1 beat. So let's do that with the arms and everything. So it's simply 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Try not to lean. So you can see me. Each knee. San. Also another little detail, you turn your head away from the side where your arms are. So I don't want to be like this. It tends to put too much weight here and the face is exposed. So you actually turn your head, your face, away from the arms. So that's another detail. Just do a few of those. Turning the head away from the direction of the arms. Good. Okay, now let's put in the weight shift for that. So let's do that together. 1 beat, sliding, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And each knee. On, 3, 4, 3. Okay, coming back to center. Breathe in, expand. Breathe out. Breathe in, expanding. Breathe out. Settle. Okay, let's bow up. Domo arigatou gozaimasu. Good to see all of you.
Thanks, Sensei.
Thank you. See you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sensei. That was great.
Good. Nice review.
And so just to confirm, are there classes on the weekend or not because of the retreat?
So there's no classes. I'll be sending out an email tomorrow.